and I'd like to welcome to the show, friend of the show, Tory Whanau. Kia ora. How are you
Kia
today?
ora. Good, good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Although, as we can probably hear through yours, the wind is going a bit crazy today, isn't it?
Yeah, so you'll probably hear that go off a bit in the background, but she'll be right.
Wellington's just hyping you up, They're like,
Hey, this is our
let's
city.
go, right? I don't even call the wind half the time. I just call it Wellington.
This
I'm
is
like,
just
chill out,
normal.
Wellington, calm down a
Yeah.
bit. And so obviously, I thought we'd have a korero to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of Māori Wards. So I actually had a question because I'm
Mm,
kind of wanting to know how Māori Wards work within a council. I
mm.
realize I don't know much about how a council works.
Yeah.
So, like, could you give us just even like a small, like, run through of like the difference between even like what a mayor might do versus some of your other councillors?
Yeah, for sure. So the mayor, is its own role. It's the leadership role, the one who really leads council, the long term plan governance, is the chair of council. The Māori ward works like every other ward, like every other councillor. So um, we've got. For example, the centre of Wellington, the northern suburbs, and so forth. We've also got the Māori ward. And what the Māori ward councillor has, just like every other councillor, is one vote around that table. What
Mm,
makes it slightly different, I suppose, is who they represent. So they represent all Māori who reside in Wellington City, and they're voted in by those who are on the Māori roll.
yeah.
So I'm on the Māori roll. I can only vote for
Same.
the Māori. I mean, you would hope so, yeah, that we would be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you can vote for the mayor
Mm,
and your Māori ward candidate
yes.
and your regional council candidate as well.
Yes.
And that's where that differs. So we've got a couple of different voting audiences here. The Māori ward councillor comes in off the Māori roll, but they
Yeah.
have the exact same voting rights as everyone else around that table, and participate in the council process like everyone around the table.
Right.
Basically,
So
the
I
Māori
guess
seat. It's the Māori seat
yeah.
of council. Yeah,
Yeah, and it seems like I guess so I'm assuming that means like your main priorities would be talking to like mana whenua and those who live in
100%.
the yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, while those who vote for me are those on the Māori roll, essentially I want to talk to all Māori because
Mm,
it is really your choice on which role you want to be on. I found
yeah.
myself switching in the past because I wanted certain people to get in,
Yeah.
before switching back to the Māori role, and that's all good. What has been beneficial this time round, I suppose, if I was lucky enough to be elected, in my role as mayor, one of my key roles was to manage the relationship with iwi leaders. So we had our
Right.
tākai here agreement. We would partner with Te Atiawa Taranaki Whānui and Ngāti Toa, and we'd basically ensure that as iwi leaders, their voices were heard on our decision making. As
Mm,
part of that agreement, we also have our Pauiwi representatives. So we've got a Ngāti Toa representative and a Te Atiawa representative at the committee table
mm,
who have a vote.
right.
Yes, and
That
and I
makes
think maybe
sense.
that's where there's some confusion as to who gets what. So our two Pauiwi are there to represent iwi. The Māori
Mm,
Ward Councillor is there to represent all Māori.
mm, mm,
So
mm,
a slight tweak in who we're representing, but it is certainly mana whenua and
mm.
Māori in general.
Well, yeah, because I'm assuming that would also kind of extend out to, oh, I've forgotten the term, those of us who are not from here but have come from around the country.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a lot.
Mm.
One of the Māori Ward candidates that's running at the moment is from, I think she's from the Waikato, and
Oh.
yeah, and a lot of like I'm from South Taranaki, and
Mm.
so a lot of people, a lot of urban Māori choose Pōneke as their home.
Mm.
So the Māori Ward representative is there to represent them as well as mana whenua.
Mm, mm, mm. And I guess this was actually something that some people kind of brought up at a meeting I was at last night. Is when it comes to Māori Ward and the referendum,
Mm,
obviously we're hoping that everyone watching this is voting keep for Māori Wards.
yes.
But what would happen if, God forbid, we didn't keep the Māori Ward? How would that affect, like, because we're obviously voting for our Māori Ward this go around? Like, how does that work? Do you just not get in? Like,
I
how
would
does
just
that?
let's say let's say I got the most votes out of all the candidates for Māori Ward. Great, you know. But if the referendum came back and said no, the role would be disestablished.
Right.
It just
And would
wouldn't
that
exist.
happen immediately,
I
or
think
is there
that's
like a
immediate. I
delay?
think, yeah. I think that's with immediate effect, and we
Okay.
can't review the decision for another 6 years or so. So
Wow.
it would disappear, which would be
Right.
completely devastating.
God. And so we'd be locked out of trying to bring that back for 6 years.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, I didn't
yeah,
quite
it's quite.
realize there was that.
Yeah, it's real. And the main issue was with this is that for Wellington City, I mean, because every council has managed it slightly differently,
Mm,
we have already gone through consultation with our public. We've already gone through the policy development, and we voted through Māori wards years ago, like about
mm,
4 years ago. So we've already done that work. What the government is forcing us or relitigating that decision
mm.
by forcing us to go to referendum. I'm
Yeah.
confident it'll go through because during consultation we had a 96% approval rate for it,
Wow.
which is massive.
That's, yeah,
Um,
that's, it seems like it would be almost unheard of.
I know, no, and you know that reflects so well on us and our city.
Mm,
So I'm confident that'll go through again. But
mm,
you're so right. We need to be very aware of what happens if we don't vote keep. This
mm.
role would cease to exist.
Yeah, no, that's honestly a lot scarier than I kind of was initially thinking because I didn't realize it would be that long until we could try to get it back.
And it
Um,
sets a precedent. So,
mm,
you know, this is just at a local level. You know, we've got the government who has put in this referendum, which risks us losing that Māori seat for every council. Um,
mm,
where to next? You know,
yeah.
it'll be central government, it'll be parliament, and all of our Māori seats there. So it sets a precedent. Let's just show them now. No, 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 we're not going to go there.
Mm, no, absolutely. It's definitely. Oh man, it's exhausting
It is.
being the target of all their vitriol. But also like God, so obsessed with us. Like, come on,
Oh, I
jeez.
know. Like, come on, just let us get on
Right?
with it.
What are we in
We're
primary
so
school?
serious.
You don't have to
Oh,
bully me
just
for me to
so
like
much.
you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy. And actually this is something that we kind of I think was touched on at your campaign event if I remember correctly. But when it comes to Māori Ward, do you have to be Māori to run for Māori Ward? Or
Technically, I
tangata,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, technically, no.
Yeah.
Technically, I don't. I don't think you do. I should know that, like
Yeah.
that, but I hadn't thought about it. But I mean, you have to be on the Māori roll to vote for the Māori ward. But in terms of standing, technically
Mm.
no. But you have to commit to um,
Yeah.
representing Māori.
Oh, of course, of course. I
Mm.
feel like there's maybe not many tangata tiriti who could probably take up that role, but I've definitely seen some tangata tiriti who could definitely
Oh,
champion,
we,
yeah,
we've got
for
some
Māori.
we've got some real staunch tangata tiriti all over Aotearoa, especially in Pōneke, and you know I thank them so much for their advocacy
Oh,
for the Māori
absolutely.
Ward, for the treaty. Like if we go back and remember the Hikwe last year and the significant number of Pākehā and other
Mm.
cultures in that
Oh,
Hikwe, it was a truly beautiful thing to be part of.
oh, absolutely. Like, I don't think I've ever been to a protest like that. I've been to quite a few in Wellington. That one,
That one
like,
was
the
next
whole
level.
city was buzzing. It was
Mm,
amazing.
mm.
Um, But yeah, so I guess in terms of Māori wards, is there anything else that like, you think is kind of important for people to understand about the role? Like, yeah, anything like that?
Just that it's how if I could kind of put it into practice and how it's worked for the last
Mm.
term. So strength in numbers. So we had our Māori Ward candidate, oh sorry, apologies, Māori Ward councillor, Councillor Winera of Ngāti Toa.
Yes.
We had our Pauiwi Liz Kelly of Ngāti Toa. We had Holden of Te Atiawa, and we had me of Taranaki Iwi.
Mm.
And kind of the four of us combined were just always was probably one of the highlights of my term, but just worked together to ensure every decision, every policy that went through, the four of us in particular would always just sense check with each other and go, well, how's that going to sit with mana whenua? How's that going to sit with rangatahi
Mm.
Māori? How's that going to sit with wahine Māori? You know,
Mm.
and
Mm.
as a collaborative force, it's really led to some amazing policy decisions that really benefit not only mana whenua, but actually just our people in Wellington and the environment. Because as we know,
Mm.
as Māori, as tangata whenua, those are our core values.
Absolutely.
The long-term plan, the long-term vision, the future focus of our people and the betterment of it has always
Mm.
been at the forefront of our decision making. So having four of us influence policy has been quite incredible. Just last week, we've passed the coastal management reserve plan with
Oh.
with Taranaki Whānui, and it is an excellent piece of policy because it was done in partnership.
Yeah.
On the last, I was just on Paul Barlow's um, uh, podcast before this,
Oh,
and
nice,
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. And we talked about, well, how does partnership benefit? So we've also got, Capital Kiwi, and
Yes.
how we've increased our Kiwi population in the hills significantly. Now, that is a wonderful example of community activists, community leaders who care about biodiversity and our native species,
Mm.
partnering with mana whenua while being financially backed by council, creating
Mm.
a really fantastic outcome for our nature and our community. This is
Mm.
exactly how we should be developing policy, not only in
Oh,
Wellington,
absolutely.
but across the country. This government is doing the opposite of that, and in fact, is trying to dismantle that style of policy making across the
Mm.
country. But Wellington, Pōneke, this is how we thrive. This is how our biodiversity is growing most out of most cities in the world. It's because it's
Mm.
driven by community leaders, mana whenua, and financial backing from the council.
Mm.
So the retention of the Māori ward, the retention of our pauiwi, and having as many Māori as possible on council is just a wonderful thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love to see how much you guys have been doing. Like I know that's why for me you are my favorite because obviously it feels like so rarely do we see long-term thinking prioritized over that short-term gain. Like it
100%.
makes me want to pull my hair out sometimes and I'm like, how can you not see there's a return on investment if you just invest
100%.
now? And it is
Exactly.
frustrating.
And
And seeing you actually do that was just like, oh my God, it can
yeah,
be done.
it can be done. And so, um, I mean, it's easier for me to communicate this with Māori because we get it.
Mm.
As the mayor, trying to communicate that with other communities was harder. Of going, you know, my message at the moment is I know the cost of living crisis is really tough. I know the rates increases are really tough, but it's vital that we invest
Mm.
now for a better city, but also our future generation. We don't want our future generation inheriting, because they already have, to be frank,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
unaffordable city, one that has been degraded, destroyed by the impacts of climate change,
Mm.
the loss of our greenbelt nature across our city, and just the way that we look after each other as a community. We even had
Mm.
the rainbow plan put through council yesterday, which is all approved, and it means we can really focus on even though my focus is going to be Māori, it's actually all
Yeah.
vulnerable communities. We know that our vulnerable communities, especially our rainbow whānau, are experiencing significant discrimination and violence and homelessness at the moment. So we have to invest in the plan to create a safe and inclusive environment for them. So this is why we have to invest now, because we invest in our people, we invest in our infrastructure, but we invest in ensuring that we protect our environment so that our future generation inherit their home as they should.
Absolutely. I also just think, even if you're going to be one of those people who's all about efficiency and economy, trying to preserve what we have and trying to prevent it from degrading further is going to be monetarily beneficial. And it's so
100%.
frustrating, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Um, yeah, because like I've seen so many great initiatives come out of what you guys have been doing. I've also seen, I can't remember the name of the last bill that I submitted on, where they wanted to get deprioritize the four well-beings.
Oh,
And yeah, so
don't even get me
like
started, you know? But
yeah, it's
you're so right.
so, and that's the thing, is like there's so many submissions and so many things. Like I feel like most Kiwis never used to even really think about the fact that we have parliament submissions, and now it feels like it's almost like a weekly, monthly kind
Oh,
of
totally. The number of
exercise.
people who submit in the process now is actually quite incredible.
Oh, it's
So
amazing.
yeah, people are really educating themselves on the parliamentary service and select committees, and that's wonderful. We're exercising our democratic right. And this sort of stuff really needs to be taught more in high schools, like civics education. Um, in saying this, in saying that, the government's still not really listening, but I think that will the pressure is on. We're actually seeing this government flail quite a bit because they're not listening. They're
Absolutely.
tanking in the polls. We have a prime minister who, instead of going to Koroneihana, opened up an IKEA. Um,
Oh,
and
yeah.
look, that's just not the leadership we need at the moment.
No.
Our Queenie presenting her long term vision is exactly what we need. And I think provided a much needed buzz for many of us around the country.
Oh, absolutely. I think I saw a quote from someone that spoke at the Kuranehana, basically being like, let's not wait for them. We're the only ones who are going to get us out of this.
100%.
So, like, let's just go. And I
That's
mean,
right.
yeah, I think for the most part, obviously, there's a little bit of bloody politics, I guess you could say, we have to play. But
Always, always.
I definitely am feeling like, I feel like everyone I talk to who see rangatahi Māori who are actively, well, a lot of them are actively engaged because they kind of have no choice.
They
Like
have
when your
no
entire
choice.
identity is being politicized,
100%, and I
it's
feel for them because like I've been really grateful for the support that my campaign has received from rangatahi Māori, wahine Māori, our rainbow community, marginalised communities. Man, they're tired. They are burnt out. They're exhausted. Showing up to
yeah,
things is really hard. They can't afford to donate, but and so those of us who can stand up and speak for them and stand up for them. Um, this is the time because one of my greatest activist friends has been doing a lot of work with Palestine, and coordinating a massive funding donation project to get some of them, many families their food, and she is so burnt out. And but that really emphasizes the landscape of politics at the moment is that our communities are being harmed and so many people are being harmed. We're being pulled into different directions in protests. Nurses, Palestine, Māori, and I think we all just want to go to bed and have a bit of a nap because it's hard. It wears us down,
yeah.
and I feel for everyone. So I've actually told I'm going on a tangent here, but I
No, go
told
for it.
my campaign team even I just said I said, I'm feeling the vibe that everyone's really tired and burnt out. Let's just kind of like take a step back. Let's tone down the asks at the moment because the most important thing is getting people out to vote on the day or the
Yep.
days leading up with the ballots.
Yes.
Let's focus on that. let's take a break, because I think
Mm.
what I don't want to generate is guilt as well.
Mm.
Because when someone's like, I injured my back a couple of days ago, so I
Oh.
can't go to the Cahoots workship this afternoon. And
Oh.
man, I feel bad about that. But because
Oh.
I'm a staunch supporter of that kaupapa,
Yeah.
and it's an incredible workshop. And but that's if that's how if we're all feeling like that, that's it's not going to do us good. So
Mm.
I've been telling people who reach out to me, I'm like, oh, kete pai, you just take a rest. I know you
Mm.
support me.
Yeah.
It's all good, like, and I would encourage people listening to this, don't feel pressured, actually,
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
to, to get out and fight, because I know, because I've seen you all fighting for the causes in the last year.
Mm.
So look, I'm confident that everyone is going to vote to keep the Māori ward and vote the right
Mm.
way. That's all that matters.
No, absolutely. And I feel you there. It's definitely part of their plan is to try and wear us down with all their
100%.
bullshit. But I mean,
That's right.
like you say, we've got to be sustainable in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, it's hard to prioritize sometimes. And I totally, totally feeling bad about not being able to go to things. Don't worry, I'm going to go to the Cahoots on your behalf as well. So I will make
Thank
sure
you.
that they know that if you could be there, you would be there. I'm sure they already know
Absolutely.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah. And
But see, that in itself is an amazing act for
mm,
people. Like, it's going, look, I've got the energy to go to this today.
mm,
I'll go and I've got us.
mm.
What an incredible service.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for
To
sure.
let someone like me rest, like, and so we should all look after each other, and do that. So that's amazing.
Absolutely. Community is probably the most powerful tool we're going to be
Absolutely.
utilizing. So I absolutely total call that. And actually, a lot of what you were saying, I'm going to take a minute to just praise you a little. So sorry if you're not ready for that. But I think everything I've seen from you, you show that you are a rangatira. You are not just a mea, you are not just a leader, you are not just someone going for Māori Ward. To me, you are a rangatira. You bring so many communities together, and the way you're able to represent them pretty flawlessly, honestly, is just, it's something that is very, very precious and deserves acknowledgement, but also, like, you're going to be a great uh someone to look up to. There are going to be so many young people who look at you and go, holy shit, I could actually be an empathetic leader. Similar to how I know Tamitha Paul has made me go, oh wow, I could actually be like in politics and just be straight up who I am. Fuck, you, like, both of you are showing me like a different way to do politics, and it's amazing because I know Chloe talks about it a lot. We made all of the system so we can change it. And seeing
100%.
people just go, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna start changing it, and then I guess ask for apologize rather than ask for permission. And I think it's amazing because, like, there's definitely a shift and a change because, like you said, at the moment there's a lot of ugly out there. Like, even just my own examples walking around this town. Like, when I first moved to Wellington, my favorite thing was that everyone was so kind and nice. And unfortunately, there does seem to be a
Shift.
yeah, a shift. Like, I'm obviously a fat person. Like, I don't think fat's a bad word. And I've recently started getting comments, yelled at me out
Are you
of.
serious?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've never had it before, and probably in the last maybe 12 months, I've seen, like, I've had at least three people just kind of yell out horrible comments, which I'm just kind of
Oh,
like,
oh
man, you're
man.
taking time
That's
out of your day to do that. That's a lot of effort, but all right.
that's sad, bro.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's definitely, it shows me there is a bit of a change. And I think,
yes, yep,
unfortunately, some of the ugly people we've had in our local politics have definitely not
yes,
helped. And I know for a
yes,
fact that our central government are enabling people to feel like they can
absolutely.
just be assholes and be mean and
Yeah,
racist and bigoted.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes, the bigots, the trolls have been empowered.
oh, absolutely.
And and the trolls are now running for local council, and
Yeah.
it's and that's the sort of stuff we should be concerned about and will matter on the ballot box. But I think but until we get to that point, um,
Yeah.
just encouraging people to just be informed, and vote when it's time, but to be okay with taking a bit of a rest. You thank you for your words. I got a bit emotional, so
Yeah, it's all right.
thanks.
I wouldn't expect you to think. I get how awkward it can be. But yeah, and I mean, I also you just reminded me of another thing that you said at your campaign launch is also, it's not just about making sure that we're voting yes for Māori wards and that we're voting for, generally green candidates in our area, or maybe Te Pāti Māori candidates if we've got those as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
also about making sure that we don't vote in the likes of Ray Chung and we
Yes.
don't vote in the
Yes.
likes of Nicola Young.
Yes.
So
100%. And it's like, look, it's okay to have people across the political spectrum, right? And in
absolutely.
fact, I've worked with like Tim Brown, who's probably centre right, and John Apanovich, who is a National Party member. We would often disagree on policy, but we would do it in a very mana enhancing way. And
Yes.
we'd negotiate and we'd go. And as the mayor, I'd go, I'm just not going to agree with you. But they would go, well, you're the one with the mandate, so I'll support you because you're the
Yeah.
mayor. Like, awesome. That is how we should be working together. Those who come in to bully and harass their co workers and staff do not deserve to be there. And
Absolutely.
Nicola Young and Ray Chung were the perfect examples of bad representatives. So there are a lot of them standing for council, not only in Pōneke, but across the country. So those who are backed by the ACT Party,
Yeah.
who are backed by Better Wellington or Better whatever town it is,
Yeah.
and those who are promising a cap on rates, their motives for getting onto council are suspicious. And so, again, I encourage people to be informed. How have they treated others? What have they said to the media about others? What are they promising?
No,
It's
absolutely.
yeah. So, and just to be wary about that. But bullies don't deserve to be there. Ray Chung is unfit to be an elected member.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I know for people who are kind of struggling to know how to figure, because I mean, I think for people like us, we're used to this. We can probably spot them within like point 0.5 seconds of the first red flag. But for those of you who don't, Paul, the other one, as we've mentioned before, has some great videos on how to spot red flags, kind of what to look
Yes,
for. So
totally.
highly recommend everyone go over those ways and definitely be mindful about not just who we're voting in,
Yeah,
but who we're trying to make sure doesn't get in. Because,
that's right.
yeah, I mean, we need all political spectrums, but we don't need people who are just bullies and assholes
Yeah,
and
we
just
don't
want
need
to have
bad
a
people.
power trip. Yeah, exactly. We need
100%.
people who care.
People who care, like, do you're allowed to care about financial literacy and management and so forth. That's fine. But do you care about people as well? Then great. Paul's documentary is Fabricated Consent.
Yes, that's the one.
Would encourage everyone
Yes.
watch that. It is very dense and very informative, but absolutely crucial watching, which helps others or can help people, as you say, identify those red flags.
Absolutely, like that fabricated consent, and I mean, I just advocate this in a lot of ways, but if you have family members or friends who are maybe a little closer to the right side, just chuck it on when they're around. Just chuck it
Mm,
on while they're in the
yeah,
same room, and just
totally.
try to subtly influence. Don't necessarily have. Some people aren't good when you're like, oh, please do this. But yeah, no, I
Yeah, that's right.
absolutely total all of that. Well, I think we've covered so much, and I'm actually really stoked. I think we've really gone into what Māori Ward is. We know we're voting to keep it, and I guess with that, is there anything else that you would like to add in here or finish off on?
I think the main thing for me is really acknowledging with everyone how they might be feeling at the moment. that real burnout feeling, feeling a bit glum or low about the state of the world at the moment, just know that that's a very understandable feeling to have, because it is really tough.
Yeah.
But know that there are so many supporters, leaders, people who want to make change. We're probably just a bit burnt out too, and just kind of recharging, but we are here and ready to just, you know, yell from the rooftops to help protect our communities. So it's going to be okay. And I think we're starting to see some like little chinks in the armor of this government. Those on the right, like Ray Chung's mural campaign, has completely imploded.
Oh yeah.
Because under pressure, that's a good sign.
Yeah. No, I
They're not
agree.
as tough as they think they are, but we have to stick together. We have to have grace, and if people make mistakes, well, they need to shut off from the world for a couple of days. Kei te pai. That's all good.
Absolutely.
But look, we're all here. We're here, and I have
Yeah.
so much faith in our community in Pōneke.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everyone needs a break sometimes. And I
Yes,
think, especially for, people like yourself, you've been working so hard. And honestly, I'm just grateful that someone's actually willing to, I guess, put their neck out there in terms of, being just straight up honest about the bullshit. Because honestly, it's just so refreshing to see, and I'm just hoping that we can see a shift from this passive aggressive Westminster decorum to maybe
totally.
a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more of a, I guess, intense debates, but still kind
Intense
of
debate.
being
And
respectful and
yeah,
not taking those low jabs.
100%. We need to decolonize the
Yes.
entire politics and the entire system. So I think okay, I'm older than you, but I was going to say our generation. I'm going to say our
Yeah, I think
generation.
I'm a
Um,
millennial. I think you are too, aren't you?
Thank you.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Man, we're tough. We're tough and opinionated. We get tired sometimes. We're making change now.
Yeah.
It's happening, and it's going to be okay.
Absolutely. And with that, I would love to thank you so much for coming on and joining us. And thank you to Wellington in the background for just being a hype man. Love that, love that. But yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon and I hope that you have some lovely rest. Thank you,
You
Tory
too.
Whanau, for coming on to the show.
Kia ora.